design can do more than we think. It's not just about aesthetics, it affects every area of our lives. It can improve almost any situation, from healthcare to ageing to major global challenges.
The Helen Hamlyn Centre for Design is based at London's Royal College of Art. We exist for one reason and one reason only: to use design to improve people's lives. And we make design more inclusive of people's needs, perspectives and aspirations. Design for us is the act of creating together. Involve people, stakeholders, business and the wider community in the process, and your outcomes become radically more creative.
Our designers, researchers, academics and partners work with government, industry and the third sector to innovate. We run projects, small and large, having completed over 250 engagements with around 140 organisations. We share our creative methods with businesses, third sector and government organisations, and with designers and non-designers, running workshops around inclusive design, design thinking and creative leadership. And we engage in thought leadership through publication, presentation, exhibitions and conferences. We have 3 research spaces: age and diversity, healthcare and social and global. Our projects span a variety of contexts, such as the hospital and home, from redesigning critical hospital equipment and emergency spaces, to looking at later life and improving well-being. We talk about life stage rather than age. We have always looked at new technology and how it can benefit people. We work locally with communities, in public spaces and in neighbourhoods, but we also work globally, anywhere there is a critical or real social need.
Our portfolio of capabilities is broad, but at the heart of every project are 2 very simple ideas: engage people and design the best experience possible. In summary, we believe that design can bring creative value to any conversation. We design with a difference. To make a difference, we design different.
The Age and Diversity Research Space considers people's everyday experiences over the broadest dimensions of age and diversity. We explore age in all its guises, whether that be digital age, social age, educational age, the age spectrum, or life course transitions.
We've explored topics such as the role of health technology for older adults, which tends not to be about empowerment. Instead, it's more often about ill health or crisis, such as pendant alarms for falls. We weren't after a Fitbit for pensioners, monitoring and charting performance. Instead, we explored with older adults what meaningful and actionable health and well-being information was, and how to best communicate it. We called this qualified self. It was about self-knowledge through health and well-being insights that resonate with the person using it. But we don't focus exclusively on later life. We also consider the younger years and the potential for intergenerational connection, such as our work over the last decades around connected communities. On this, our youngest participant has been 3 years old and our oldest 83 years old.
In terms of diversity, we include groups that remain underrepresented, approaching projects in a way that inspires engagement and empowerment. We use design ethnography and empathy-driven approaches to effect positive change in everyday life. Our work in the neurodiversity space is a great example of this, where we design research and engage hard-to-reach people, such as those with autism, learning difficulties or dementia. We have co-created research and design outputs with these groups, ranging from the built environment to services.
We balance function and finesse and create designs that are desirable. Our approach is always inclusive and always empathic. For us, it's not just about physical access, it's about so much more. It's about pleasure, it's about aspiration, it's about connectedness for people of all ages and abilities.
Social and Global is a new research and design space set up by the Centre in September 2017. In its simplest form, it's about design that benefits society at an international level.
We're at an unprecedented time of flux in the world at the moment. We've got polarisation in politics, mistrust in big business, tensions within our communities and concerns about new technology, and global humanitarian and environmental crises. So, in a way, it can feel quite dystopian.
The traditional approach to solving many of these issues has been either top-down policy initiatives that lack relevance to people's lives, or small-scale social innovation projects that are disjointed, too specific, or lack scalability.
People-centred design can help to bridge these issues, and with the Centre's expertise and experience, we can design ideas with real impact.
Some include rethinking the London taxi, where we actually consulted drivers and passengers with a range of different needs and worked with RCA vehicle design to produce a striking exterior with ideas such as this halo light visible from 360 degrees. We have implemented our innovation methods globally, working in the Middle East with migrant workers and the construction companies to look at recruitment, visibility and better forms of support. And we look at community, whether working in Hong Kong, designing better care and well-being for later life, or reimagining policy for governments at home and abroad. We also address critical situations, such as empowering Japanese citizens to rethink and rebuild communities in Fukushima after the May 2011 tsunami and nuclear disaster.
So our focus is truly social and global. So keep in touch with us as we continue to grow this space. It's exciting times ahead.
Our work in the healthcare space specialises in how healthcare is delivered. It's clear that healthcare is changing. There are huge technological improvements, but there are also demographic and economic challenges. Our vision is to humanise healthcare.
We want to make sure that the people at the front line, the people giving and receiving care, are at the heart of the design process.
With each project we do, we develop new and pioneering ways of working with patients, staff and clinical researchers. Each project is different. We're always refining our methods to give us rich insights into people's experience and feed them into meaningful and award-winning designs.
You can see this through our current work. Our patient flow project involved understanding how a busy acute medical unit operates. The ICU Journey project explored the patient experience of intensive care and so had to use very different methods. A lot of our work also explores the area of mental health. We've worked closely with psychologists to deliver a digital platform for people with paranoid and suspicious thoughts. This is going through formal clinical trials, and a lot of the lessons we've learnt are now being used in a new app to help people improve their overall well-being. And we have our sights set on future challenges, one of which is the troubling rise in antimicrobial resistance. We have a 3-year project using design to understand how people themselves understand antibiotics and how doctors prescribe them. As healthcare moves from hospital to home, we're also looking to create better products and services in the domestic space. In all of our design projects, we're aiming to use design to humanise healthcare.
At the Centre, we work closely with people throughout the design process, from implementation through to delivery. This is at the heart of all our projects. We design our research as a creative activity in itself, using existing tools of design and design ethnography, as well as creating new methods. We see our participants as collaborators, co-creators and even authors in the process, rather than simply viewing them as test subjects.
Immersing is not about objectivity or subjectivity. It is about fully plunging yourself within a context. This could be an environment, an experience, or community. It's all about building empathy and generating a 360-degree view of an issue. It calls for the designer to deeply experience other people's worlds.
I observe people in the context of their daily lives to understand how they behave and see what they really do as opposed to what they say they do. Shadowing an individual can help identify design opportunities very quickly and is a basic foundation method for designers.
Interviewing is one of the most powerful ways to understand people. I find it best to speak one-to-one and face-to-face, but sometimes we do group interviews. They don't have to be scientific, neutral or objective. For us, it's simply about conversation and collaboration.
Listening is at the heart of all our research methods. It enables people to express their thoughts, needs and perspectives. I tend to ask more open-ended questions rather than focusing on a single issue, putting people and their priorities first.
A novel method we developed at the centre is called design provocations, which involves showing people sketches, props or visuals to stimulate discussion and engage with people's imagination. This isn't about validating ideas, but provoking responses from participants.
Prototyping is the creation of a model for the purpose of evaluating an idea. Prototypes can range from a quick mock-up to test an initial concept to a more highly resolved artifact close to the final outcome. Prototyping makes abstract ideas real, communicates concepts clearly, and allows real interactions to happen.
Co-creation moves beyond the expert and non-expert relationship between designer and participant. It involves people as valued contributors and even as co-authors of ideas. Co-creation workshops allow for a dream team to work on any sort of design challenge.
Futuring is an imaginative research method that embraces fictional, future-based aspects of people-centered design. It can be done in a number of ways, including acting, documentary films, or simply imagining yourself in a future scenario. The ideas and results can be realized as illustrations, soundscapes, and even film. These help us to evaluate, explore, and realize speculative outcomes.
We have a few different ways to engage. Small-scale design and research projects in partnership with you, major projects to tackle major challenges, external education and continuous professional development, workshops in design and leadership, the creation of bespoke tools and methods, and developing new knowledge and dissemination. So what do people we have worked with say about the experience? The Centre brought a fresh perspective and energy to a new area for the London Legacy Development Corporation to explore. The King's College collaboration with the Helen Hamlyn Centre has been invaluable in helping to address the challenges to improving psychological therapy outcomes for people affected by severe mental health problems. The Helen Hamlyn Centre for Design has really helped Stana put our end users at the heart and centre of our designs. We also invest in the careers of designers and researchers, training the next generation of thought leaders.
I actually define it as giving people choice.
For me, inclusive design is about taking into account how other people experience life.
Inclusive design is a philosophy about making design more humane.
Inclusive design means design for all, no matter what age, ability and gender you are.
Our ambition is to use design to change things for the better, but we cannot do it alone. Whether you're a designer or a non-designer, from the private sector or the public sector, from academia or business, a student or professional, we value partnerships, we value conversation, and we value your engagement.